All right, so we are ready to dive into Disclaimer.
Right.
This new Apple TV Plus series
Right.
from the mind of Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah.
You know the guy behind Gravity and Roma?
Mm-hmm.
And he's traded spaceships this time
Yeah.
for psychological thrills.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you,
Okay.
this series, like, really had me hooked, I gotta say.
Really?
From, like, episode 1.
Wow.
The way that Cuarón, like, plays with what you expect,
Uh-huh.
it's, like, it's masterful.
Yeah, I think what's so fascinating about Disclaimer is how it, like, draws you into this web of secrets.
Yeah.
And it, like, manipulates how you see things.
Oh, totally.
In the same time as the characters, right?
Totally.
They're, like, constantly going, like, what's real?
Oh, 100%.
Who should I trust?
Yes. So, okay, picture this, right?
Okay.
You are Catherine Ravenscroft,
Okay.
who is this, like, highly respected documentarian, played by the incredible, amazing Cate Blanchett. And Catherine, she's known for, like, exposing these uncomfortable truths.
Right.
But then her life, which she's, like, built up so carefully, it starts to, like, fall apart
Right.
when a manuscript,
Uh-huh.
a mysterious manuscript,
Yeah.
shows up at her front door.
Oh, how creepy.
I know. And this isn't just, like, some random events, right? This
Yeah.
is, like, dark secrets from her past.
Really?
Yeah, written by someone who seems to know her, like, really well.
Oh.
Like, way too well.
Oh.
It's giving very much how did they find out vibes.
Right.
Like, seriously.
Totally.
And to make it even creepier, right?
Okay, what's that?
The title of this manuscript
Yeah.
is called The Perfect Stranger.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that unsettling?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
That's creepy.
Talk about unsettling. It's like whoever wrote this wants Catherine to feel like she's being watched.
Oh, yeah.
Like her deepest secrets are totally exposed.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. I think this title, The Perfect Stranger,
Yeah.
it, like, adds another layer to the story, you know?
Right.
Because it's like, it hints at these hidden identities
Uh-huh.
and this, like, unsettling feeling that, like, someone we think we know
Yeah.
could be keeping huge secrets.
Totally.
And those secrets could totally, like, flip our lives upside down.
Yes.
You know?
It's so good.
Yeah.
I like where you're going with this.
Okay.
So how does it all play out in the series?
Well, okay. So the story jumps around
Okay.
between Catherine, like, now
Uh-huh.
trying to uncover who wrote the manuscript,
Right.
and flashbacks to a younger Catherine,
Oh, interesting.
and, like, a super important encounter that she has
Okay.
with this mysterious young guy. His name is Jonathan.
So we're like putting the pieces together
Yeah, kind of.
of the past
Yeah.
alongside Catherine in the present.
Exactly. And through it all,
Uh-huh.
we also get pieces of the perfect stranger itself.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Okay.
It's like having a puzzle,
Yeah.
but the pieces are, like, scattered throughout the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
So they slowly reveal the bigger picture.
Gotcha.
And it totally keeps you guessing.
Keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, right. Totally.
It's like you're trying to solve a mystery
Right.
inside of another mystery.
Totally.
You're always trying to figure out,
Yeah.
okay, what's actually real?
Yeah, yeah.
What's maybe in someone's head?
Right.
And then, like,
And then who can you trust?
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Can you trust anybody?
Right. Exactly. You're like, wait a minute.
It's like, oh, so good.
Yeah. And it's this like intricate kind of dance between the past and the present
Right.
that makes Disclaimer so captivating.
Yes.
And like woven through all of it are these themes of guilt and memory.
Yes.
Making you think about, like, how much of what we believe is really just shaped by the stories,
Oh,
you know,
totally.
that we hear and the secrets that we keep.
So true. And speaking of secrets, right,
Okay.
the series doesn't just focus on Catherine.
Right.
We also meet Stephen Brigstock,
Yes.
played by the fantastic Kevin Kline,
Of course.
and he gives this, like, deliciously devious performance
He does.
as this grieving widower.
Right.
Or is he?
Right.
You
Exactly.
don't really know.
You never really know with him, right?
Yeah, you never really know about Stephen's motives.
Yeah. And he could be, like, super connected to Catherine's past.
Right.
Or maybe he's just a pawn
Right.
in this, like, much bigger game.
Totally. And Kevin Kline,
Yeah.
he just walks that line
He does.
masterfully
Yeah.
between sympathetic and suspicious. It's
Yeah.
like you never really know his true intentions
Until the very end.
until the very end.
Wait, what?
Yeah. which I love, by the way.
It's so good.
I love that.
It's so good.
It's like he's playing a character
Yeah.
within a character.
Totally.
You see these like glimpses of his own past.
Right.
And like his pain, but you're never really sure.
You're like, is he for real?
If it's genuine
Yeah.
or if it's all an act.
Totally.
So good.
And we can't forget about the rest of the cast.
Right, the supporting cast.
Yes, because Sacha Baron Cohen,
Come on.
Cody Smith-McPhee,
Yes.
Leslie Manville,
Stacked.
they make the story even better, even more intriguing.
It adds so much.
They do.
Talk about a stacked cast.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing.
Now, the series has definitely gotten praise, right?
It has.
For the performances
Yeah.
and that suspenseful atmosphere.
Of course, yeah.
But some critics have said that the pacing
Go
is
ahead.
a little uneven.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so some viewers felt that certain plot points
Right?
were kind of a little implausible,
Right,
like
yeah.
stretching the limits of believability a bit.
Right.
And while the ending does tie up those loose ends,
Yeah.
some critics, they felt like it lacked the same punch as the buildup.
Yeah.
You know,
I see what you're saying.
like the journey was more exciting
Yeah.
than the destination,
Right.
which is interesting.
Which is interesting because it's that classic kind of
Right,
dilemma of how do you wrap everything up
right,
and make it satisfying,
right.
but also keep it
Exciting.
interesting and mysterious.
Keep the mystery.
Yeah.
It's like you want answers, but then once you know the answers, you're like, well, now I kind of miss the mystery.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so
It's like, I want to go back.
yeah, like, don't tell me, you know?
Right.
But even with those critiques, Disclaimer still really delivers when it comes to character-driven storytelling.
It does, yeah, and I think that's what makes it so compelling.
Yeah,
like it really gets into the characters' heads.
Totally.
Especially Catherine.
Right.
She kind of unravels, right?
Yes.
Dealing with this invasion of privacy.
It's true.
And like everyone's watching her.
Yes, and I think that's
a lot.
That's where it gets really unsettling.
Right.
Right. It's one thing to have your secrets out there.
Right.
But to have them out there for the whole world.
Right, and everyone's talking about it.
Everyone to just like
And picking it apart.
pick apart. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
And, you know, I think the show really holds a mirror up
It does.
to how things are now.
Totally.
Where, like, information just spreads so fast.
It's true. Yeah.
And people online are so quick to judge.
Oh, 100%.
So it makes you wonder, like, how much power do we really give
Right.
to what other people think?
Totally.
And how much are we willing to just believe
Right.
without knowing the whole story?
Yeah, it's like being in the middle of like a social media storm
Yes.
where everybody's got an opinion
Right.
and the actual truth
Gets like...
distorted with every click and every share.
Yeah, totally.
Every comment.
It's like a game of telephone almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like really high stakes.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And this brings us to like, I think one of the most interesting parts of Disclaimer,
Okay, what's that?
which is how technology and social media play a role.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's all about the spread of information.
Right.
All that online, like, digging that people do.
All the time.
And the never-ending news cycle.
It never stops.
It really is a reminder of
Yeah.
how quickly things can get out of hand.
Out of control.
Out of control, yes.
Totally.
In our digital world.
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword. You know,
100%.
because we have access to all this information.
Right.
But it also means that, like,
It's out there.
it's out there.
Forever.
Yeah, and it can be used against us.
Yeah. And it makes you think
It does.
about, like, past mistakes.
Right.
Things that you wish you could just
Take back.
erase.
Erase. Yeah.
They can all come back up to the surface
At any moment.
because of this digital footprint.
that we all leave behind.
It's like a trail of breadcrumbs.
It's true.
But instead of leading to something good, it's like
scary.
scary.
Yeah,
It's like, what if someone found that
totally.
and used it against you?
It's anxiety-inducing,
It is.
to say the least.
Yeah, it definitely adds another layer of anxiety
Yeah.
to the whole experience.
Yeah, it really makes you think about how, like, exposed we all are
Sure.
in this digital age. But,
Totally.
you know, even beyond all that, like the tech anxieties and stuff,
Yeah.
Disclaimer really gets into these, like,
Yeah.
deeper questions about truth and
Wow.
who gets to, like,
Who gets to decide?
control the story.
Control the narrative, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Whose story is it?
Yes.
Is it yours?
And then there's that title,
Yeah.
disclaimer. It's like, it takes on this whole other meaning, you know,
It does.
as the series goes on.
It's like it makes you think about
Right.
how we use language.
It's like what we say, what we write to make people see things a certain way.
Yes.
And sometimes even to like
get away with stuff.
Yeah, to avoid taking responsibility.
Yes.
You know, and you think about it.
It's so true.
Disclaimers are everywhere.
They are everywhere.
They're not just in those long legal documents. They're like in our everyday lives.
It's true. It's like that saying, right?
Which one?
Believe none of what you hear.
Right, right.
And only half of what you see.
Exactly.
But then it's like...
But then how do you know?
How do you know which half?
Which half is real?
For believe.
Right, and who gets to decide that?
That's the question.
Exactly, and I think, you know, one of the things that disclaimer does really well is it doesn't give you easy answers.
Right.
Which I kind of like.
Yeah, it makes you think.
It makes you think. It makes you uncomfortable.
Yes.
But in a good way, you know?
Yes, totally. It sparks these, like, important conversations.
Totally.
But conversations that, like, we don't always want to have.
Right, exactly, about how we take in information.
Yes.
And how much our words and our actions actually affect other people.
It's true.
You know?
It's a lot.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah. So we've talked about the actors.
Yeah.
The pacing, what the critics are saying.
Yeah.
But I think, like, the big question is, does disclaimer really work as, like, a straight-up thriller?
Right.
Or is it more of, like, a character study?
Right.
Or could it be, you know, both?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
It is.
And I think it actually might be more helpful to see disclaimer as like a commentary on how easy it is to manipulate public perception, especially now with like
the
internet and social media. Where it's like the line between what's real and what's fake.
It's so blurry.
It's so blurry.
So blurry.
It's really scary. Yeah. And it's dangerous, and that takes us back to like those disclaimers.
Yeah, disclaimers.
Right. Like how much responsibility do storytellers have?
That's a good question.
To present like a balanced truth.
Yeah. And how responsible are we for like really thinking about what we're seeing and hearing?
Oh, 100%. And that's a really important thing to think about.
It is. Yeah.
You know? And I think it's almost like the most important disclaimers aren't the ones that are written down.
Right.
They're the ones that, like, we make for ourselves.
In our own heads.
Yes. Yeah. In our own heads, those, like, internal filters.
Yes, exactly.
Those are the most important ones.
To, like, make sense of the world.
Totally, because we're bombarded with information all the time.
All the time.
So we have to have some way to filter it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and so as we resurface from this deep dive on disclaimer.
Yeah. We're left with one final, like, lingering thought.
Okay, hit me with it.
Okay, what secrets might be lurking in your own past?
Okay.
And if they came to light, who would decide?
Who would get to decide?
The real story is.
A real story.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's going to make me think.
Thanks for diving in with me.
Of course. Happy to be here.
Until next time.